Obi-Wan Kenobi's strategy for engaging General Grievous was certainly a bold one. He understood Grievous well enough to know that the cyborg general wouldn't be able to resist an opportunity to face Kenobi himself, especially if it appeared that he had any sort of advantage. So Obi-Wan was confident that if he could face Grievous one-on-one with the 212th Clone Battalion cutting off any escape, then the Republic forces would be successful in capturing Grievous and bringing a quick end to the war. But what if Obi-Wan Kenobi was wrong? What if Grievous decided to focus all of his troops on killing Obi-Wan right then and there? He certainly had the numbers to overwhelm Obi-Wan. This story will take a look at what might have happened if General Grievous killed Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan Kenobi was a master of the lightsaber form called Sorsu, or Form 3, which was developed to counter widespread blaster fire, such as the situation Obi-Wan found himself at this moment. With all of the battle droids firing at him, he deflected each shot. But after deflecting hundreds, maybe thousands of blaster bolts, Obi-Wan grew tired, and he scolded himself for assuming that Grievous would want to face him alone. He certainly misread the general. He should have known the cyborg general would employ every dirty tactic he had, even sending all of his battle droids at him at once. This is the very moment that Grievous would step in to face Obi-Wan. And everything happened so fast, even before Commander Cody and the rest of his clone battalion could jump into battle. Grievous activated his 4 lightsabers, and of course, they were not his only 4 lightsabers, just the ones he chose to carry with him at this moment. But soon, he thought, he would add the lightsaber of Obi-Wan Kenobi to his collection. That's one he would carry with him wherever he went. Grievous could see the sweat running down Obi-Wan's face. It was quite the feat that Kenobi was able to defend himself for so long, Grievous thought to himself. Obi-Wan Kenobi was certainly a master of his craft. After a moment of observing the Jedi's mastery of Form 3, Grievous decided it was time to make his move. He of course assumed that Kenobi was not alone. It would not be long before an obnoxious battalion of clones would swoop in to rescue their daring Jedi general. Only a few minutes had passed by since Kenobi first appeared from nowhere, flaunting his arrogant smile. To General Grievous, those short moments were too long for the Jedi to be making a fool of him. As Obi-Wan deflected shot after shot, Grievous lunged forward, striking with all 4 lightsabers. Not to his surprise, Obi-Wan quickly adjusted his fighting stance and blocked this attack. But Grievous planned for that. It was less than a second that their blades were locked together, but it was just enough for one stray shot to scorch Kenobi's right shoulder. Obi-Wan was clearly in pain, but he kept his composure. Grievous simply laughed. Pressing his attack, Grievous was a flurry of blue and green as his blades swung from every angle at the tired and now wounded Jedi Master. General Kenobi would soon fall. The sizzle of a second blaster shot hitting its mark was music to Grievous's audio receptors. Obi-Wan's ability to defend against Grievous's quick strikes was severely crippled. At this moment, the duel was disrupted by the noise of Republic gunships and the singular voice belonging to hundreds of clones dropping into the fray. Utapau was lit up with blaster fire. Unfortunately, though, they were too late to rescue their beloved general. Channeling everything he had learned from Dooku, Grievous dealt blow after blow to the waning defense of Obi-Wan Kenobi. In a matter of moments, the great Obi-Wan Kenobi fell to the skill and dirty tactics of General Grievous. With that, the battle droids turned their attention to the clones that were now attacking. But with Obi-Wan killed and Grievous freed up to lead the droids against the 212th Clone Battalion, the Battle of Utapau would play out very differently. Grievous would rally his droids against the clones and defeat them, allowing for the general to escape Utapau and join the Separatist Council on Mustafar. This would prolong the Clone War beyond even what Sidious had intended. While headed to Mustafar to join the Council, Grievous eagerly made contact with Darth Sidious to inform him of his victory on Utapau. After hearing from Grievous, Palpatine calls Anakin to his office and informs him of Obi-Wan's death and Grievous's escape. Hearing this news enrages Anakin. "I should have gone with him," Anakin yells. Palpatine seizes the opportunity. Anakin, by now you must realize I cannot trust the Jedi to make the right decisions necessary to end this war. Can I trust you, my boy?" "Of course," Anakin responds. Before revealing himself as Darth Sidious, Palpatine sends Anakin to Mustafar, saying that high-level intelligence has tracked General Grievous and the Separatist Council to the Outer Rim planet. Anakin's mission was simple: to kill Grievous and the Separatist Council that was hiding there. Palpatine tells him to hold nothing back, wipe them out, all of them. He also tells Anakin that this mission will be kept from the Jedi, so he's free to do whatever is necessary to end this destructive conflict. Shortly after Anakin leaves Coruscant for his secret mission, the Jedi Council also hears of Kenobi's death and realizes that the war could go on indefinitely. Catching or killing Grievous, it seemed to be the quickest way to end the war. But now it was clear, the only way to end the war was to find Darth Sidious. Now, the book Labyrinth of Evil, though its legends, shows just how close the Jedi were to discovering the identity of Sidious. In fact, they were so close that Sidious had to accelerate the final stages of his plan. This is what led to the Separatist invasion of Coruscant and Grievous's kidnapping of Palpatine. In the book, the investigative team, led by Mace Windu, discovers Sidious's hideout in the abandoned industrial sector of Coruscant. They're able to pick up a trail that leads them back to the heart of Coruscant and close to the identity of Sidious. However, they're interrupted by the attack on Coruscant. For our story, we're going to operate under the assumption that the Jedi really were this close to discovering the identity of Darth Sidious. Meanwhile, Anakin arrives on Mustafar and catches the Separatist Council off guard. With the element of surprise and consumed by anger, Anakin would immediately engage in a duel with Grievous. Anakin and Grievous were both skilled in aggressive lightsaber combat, but Grievous would be up against something he had never faced in a Jedi before: unbridled rage, the dark side. It would not be long before Anakin was removing a few of Grievous's hands, legs, armor pieces, and more with his lightsaber. Grievous eventually had no ability to defend himself from what came next. Anakin gripped the cyborg with the Force and began to crush Grievous. The durasteel armor that protected the vital organs keeping Grievous alive were punctured by the force of the armor folding in on itself. It was a gruesome end to the warrior who had caused the gruesome end to so many others. After killing Grievous, Anakin's rage would continue to fuel him as he slaughtered the entire Separatist Council. In his mind, this mission began with avenging his master Obi-Wan and ending the Clone War, becoming a hero. But it quickly shifted to feeding his anger towards the Jedi Council, who prevented him from going with Obi-Wan. To Anakin, the Jedi were more to blame than Grievous was for Obi-Wan's death. The Jedi Council was responsible for holding him back. They were responsible for this whole war. He could have ended it a long time ago, he thought. And if something didn't change, if Anakin wasn't careful, the Jedi Council would soon be the reason he would not be able to save his wife from certain death, and Anakin would not let that happen. Back on Coruscant, a team of Jedi led by Mace Windu would pick up the trail of Sidious that was left cold before Palpatine's kidnapping. The trail of evidence would lead them to 500 Republica, which was the monumental building that was home to the most influential beings on Coruscant, most notable of all, Chancellor Palpatine. They would find clues of a being traveling from the industrial sector of Coruscant to Palpatine's suite. It would not take long for the Jedi to come to the realization that Dooku had not been lying to Obi-Wan all those years ago. The Senate was under the control of the Dark Lord of the Sith. They would come to the conclusion that the Supreme Chancellor of the Republic was in fact the Sith Lord Darth Sidious. As the Jedi are coming to this conclusion, Anakin is also returning from his secret mission. He eagerly informs Palpatine that the Separatists have been taken care of. Seeing that Anakin has gotten a taste of the dark side's power, Palpatine finally explains that there are other abilities the dark side can grant a user, like the ability to stop someone from dying. Anakin perks up after hearing these words. He's been having nightmares of Padme's death, and now Palpatine was offering the solution to save her. But a realization dawns on Anakin. "You're the Sith Lord," Anakin exclaims as he ignites his lightsaber. They would have a conversation much like they do in the original timeline. Palpatine would leverage Anakin's frustration with the Jedi and fear of losing Padme. But in this story, Anakin would decide to join Sidious at that moment. He had already experienced the power of the dark side, and the loss of Obi-Wan had pushed his frustration with the Council over the edge. It also elevated his fear of losing Padme. Anakin was ready to become Darth Sidious's apprentice. Thanks for watching this first part of What If Grievous Killed Obi-Wan on Utapau. I am already working on part 2 and I'm excited to show you how I think this scenario would play out. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like for this video, or if you didn't like it, leave a thumbs down too. And consider subscribing to stay up to date on part 2 of this fan fiction and much more. I'll catch you in the next video, and may the Force be with you.